What's good people? Derek Jackson here. So I was going to give a whole different message today, and then I logged into Instagram and I saw some very interesting comments on my last video where I talked about why a man will move on to a whole new woman and give her everything that you deserve. Now, quick summary, I'm talking about guys, maybe strung a woman along, were, a little sneaky or even just straight up betraying their woman, all these different things, and they get in a new relationship and they're just Mr. Knight in shining armor. Like, why guys do that type of thing? Looked in the comments and I saw some women saying, okay, I can relate to that. And I saw some other women saying, well, D, maybe the guy just loves the new woman more. Maybe the new woman is just a better match and she brings out the best in him. She just brings out different characteristics. And one of my favorite, well, D, maybe the guy just wasn't that into the first woman at all. That's just what it was. So she needs to move on and get over it. Okay, cool. I can respect objectivity. One thing I cannot respect is being so dangerously naive that you ever make a connection between a man's character and a woman's love, or how much in love they are, a woman's value or contribution to his life. Basically, it's like this. If he treated the last woman so badly because he wasn't that into her, he strung her along knowing that he wasn't going to marry her. He just watched her deteriorate year by year, that he used her up knowing he wasn't going to give her that marital commitment. Or if he was hiding their relationship and had all of these side chicks running around because he just wasn't that into her. What do you think is going to happen to you when y'all get to that season of your relationship or your marriage where he's not that into you? Or do you think, when it's right, when it's meant to be, you never have those seasons where you're not on the same page with your man? Y'all are just fully attracted to each other and head over heels in love with each other every single day. Because let me tell you something, if you ever been in a relationship more than a year and a half, 2 years, there's going to come a time where both of y'all don't like each other. And then the same character, if his character was truly contingent on how he felt about the woman, the same character that he had whenever he was in that last relationship with the woman he wasn't that into is exactly what you're going to get. Exactly what you're going to get. And matter of fact, that character may not have happened after things went left. It may have been the cause. Like, for instance, I used to blame society and these movies for leading a lot of people and thinking this, that, and the other. Let me say this. A lot of y'all women, especially the new woman in this situation, are gassed up when these guys tell you these bad stories and all the things that they went through with their ex and how you so different. They love you. You the one for them. You make them want to be a better man and blah, blah, blah. Y'all don't understand. They tell you all these horror stories about their ex, but they're not telling you that horror story was a sequel. And they were in part one. The man was in part one. He was the villain. He had the mask on. He had the knife in his hand. He was stabbing her in the back. They just tell you the woman's reaction is what I'm saying. They tell you, oh, she was so paranoid, blah, 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 blah. They don't tell you before she was paranoid, they broke her trust. She ain't come in a relationship paranoid. She was crazy. She was always on my back. She was always this, that, and the other. She was always on my case. She let herself go. She gained all this weight. She ain't just let herself go. She stopped caring about going to the gym because she got depressed. And she felt like there wasn't no amount of reps or exercises that she could do to keep all his attention strictly on her. So she said, whatever, I don't even care no more. Man, that girl was crazy. She was a bit triggered by the crazy. She ain't getting no triggers until she got those triggers from you. Y'all got to ask these questions. These dudes is telling you all of these stories about the experiences, but they don't tell you what they did to cause the experience. And furthermore, they don't tell you that once they caused that experience, instead of dealing with it, they ran away. And now they found you a clean slate. Because that's the easy thing to do. It's a lot easier to break something and say, you know what, I broke it. But instead of being a part of the restoration and the reconciliation and the fixing of things, it's easy to go find something new that ain't broken yet. You ain't got a real man, you got a runner. It's easier to do that than it is to sit in that house with that woman and she don't want to have sex with him, for weeks or even months on end, because now his touch feels like a searing hot iron at the way he did to betray her. It's easier to run to a whole new woman. That's why so many guys doing it. It's easier to run to a new woman than to deal with those, again, triggers and emotional roller coasters that she's on, that she got on whenever he put her on it. It's easier. It's easier to run to a new woman than to have that 120% transparency and accountability for where he's at all times throughout the day that he created whenever he broke her trust. Is easier. So moral of the story is this: discernment. It ain't that all men are bad. It ain't that you trash. If you a new woman, you ain't no good. The moral of the story is you can never be a good enough woman or lit enough or have enough value or be cream of the crop enough in order to make a man be a man that wasn't already a man before he met you. So there's questions you need to be asking. Hey, if you can mentor, this is the type of question I'm talking about here. If you can mentor that version of you that was with her, what would you tell yourself to keep you from doing the thing that you did to contribute to the dysfunction before it all fell apart? What would you tell yourself? Another question, how would you articulate the emotion she maybe failed to articulate before she acted out? How would you do that? There's several more questions. If you want to know them, I ain't gonna go too far off subject here. If you want to know the questions to ask a man to assess whether or not you're dealing with a guy who has truly evolved through his experiences, or if he's just running to repeat them with you. If you want to know those questions, click the link down in the caption. I talk about it in my book, Don't Forget Your Crown. You can get it right now for 50% off. But let me reiterate something before I go. There are men who have been in the same seat. They've been the exact same vice versa, had their love wasted on the woman, tried their best, did everything that they can do. But you want to know what separates those men from the trash men that I was just talking about? When their love got wasted, they just said, you know what? I'm going to shut the valve. I'm going to stop pouring. I'm just going to cut it all off. I'm going to stop pouring this love. They didn't say, well, let me go ahead and pour some poison. Why? Because you can't pour something that ain't already in you. Hope that don't go over y'all heads. But y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. Again, if you want to know more about this topic and how to assess whether or not you're dealing with a real evolved man, click the link down in the caption and get my book, Don't Forget Your Crown, where I talk more about it. I'll let y'all be good. Peace.